Hello, everyone. I'm here with Ben. And Ben, talk about what you're doing here at Terrificon.
Sure. So mostly sitting, talking into a microphone. I am not wearing shoes. Wait, you mean about the comic book?
Preferably.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, I am the writer of the Seance Room here, and what it is this gentleman he runs a mansion where there are 6 ghosts. Now, what happens in each issue? One of these ghosts comes to life and forces you to face your deepest, darkest secret. Each issue is one complete story, front to back. You get everything all in one, like an episode of The Twilight Zone. How was that pitch? Pretty good, right?
It's awesome. Sold me.
I've only been doing it a million times today. And then another fun thing that we kind of been doing is that because the entire aesthetic of our comic book is these old magician vintage posters, we actually found these classic vintage magician postcards, right? So I've been doing these custom horror stories for people at the convention. One of the coolest ones is you ask people what their biggest fear is, right? So like, what's your biggest fear? Can you tell these people? Is this okay?
The dark.
Is it the dark? That's the first one I've heard of that so far. That's rad, dude. I mean, not for you, that sucks. But like, I mean, that's because after a while of doing these, you start to hear kind of the same things over and over. Like a lot of spiders.
Spiders, clowns.
Spiders. No clowns yet.
Really?
Yeah, or if it's clowns, they're not willing to
Reveal it.
yeah, or buy a story about it. They're like, they don't want to deal with it so much. Anyway, yesterday, so before yesterday, the weirdest one I got was like multi-dimensional killer whales. Guy saw Free Willy. There's the scene where like the already laughing. Guy saw Free Willy. There's a scene where there's no whale. Turns around and then whale. And like in his mind, he's like, oh, multi-dimensional killer whales. That's the thing. So that was fun. But until yesterday, that was the weirdest one. Yesterday, I got Jake Gyllenhaal. So this person, I know it's all very silly. This is the fun you have at conventions. Jake Gyllenhaal was just terrified of Jake Gyllenhaal. So we wrote a story about like she sits down to watch a movie and it's Brokeback Mountain, and then all of a sudden she feels the deep set smoky eyes smoldering behind her, and freaking Jake Gyllenhaal's in the theater behind her. Yeah, so like it's a lot of fun, but it's a way to keep the conventions interesting and have a blast while we're here.
Definitely.
You know?
This is all really cool, very cool material. What are your inspirations, or what influenced you to write stuff like this?
To write stuff. Well, the cards it's really just in the moment. It's how I feel about the person. It's how. So those are a lot of fun, and that's a convention exclusive that we just do here. And it really is like a way to just keep fresh and keep interested in things because we're here so often and we do so many of these. Like we travel. I mean, I have one every weekend for the next at least 2 months from now, and prior to that it was 4 months, so it's a way to keep fresh and keep energized and not just get caught up in the roteness of it. Like you don't want to just be automaton Ben doing the same thing over and comic book, he owns a mansion and 6 ghosts, like you want to actually be engaged and be here and be present, and so that's that. The inspiration for the comic is actually, I'm not even that big of a horror fan. I like the human element of things, and then for me it was came up with the concept of the actual seance room based on the Magic Castle in Los Angeles. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Dude, oh, it's awesome. You gotta look it up. It's a place in Los Angeles where there's actual, Neil Patrick Harris is like one of the, it's a magician's club, basically. Yeah. And to get in, like, you have to go through secret passages. There's like a piano that plays whatever you ask it to, and no one's there. It's a blast. It's a really cool place. But I'd been there, and then afterwards, I was like, anything could happen here. So then it was like, what's my personal pet peeve today, and how do I put that into the seance room?
Cool.
Yeah.
Talk about Source Point Press.
Sure, I'd love to. Source Point Press is a company where we do independent horror and sci-fi comics. Everything is the same caliber of quality that I do, if not better. It's, everything is the art is on point, the stories are on point, consistency in a company. If you like a book, the next one's coming out. You know what I mean? We don't leave people hanging. The company is based out of Michigan, and we got big things happening. Like we even do graphic novels, stories, prose novels. There's a movie that got filmed based on Rotten Tail by David Hayes and Corin Nemec from Parker Lewis Can't Lose and Stargate. Mm-hmm. He's actually our lead.
Oh, no way.
He plays Rotten Tail, yeah. And that got filmed. That's done. Monstrous, which I don't have in reach right now. Oh, there it is. Boom. Right there. Monsters just got picked up for a movie title. So
nice.
we have some distribution and a lot of really good things happening at Source Point.
Cool. And where are you guys out of?
Sure. So Source Point's based out of Detroit, Michigan. Me personally, I am based out of Boston.
Nice.
So yeah, very, very far away. I just went to the Detroit Con. It was great. They were really super nice to us. Love their horror out there, man. They are like hardcore out there. Yeah. So if you want to find us next, though, we're going to be at Toronto Con, and we're also going to be at Rock and Shock in Massachusetts coming up soon. I personally will be at MegaFest coming up. Yep. Which is going to be great.
Marlboro?
Yep, yeah. And I'm doing a couple panels talking about how to make comics and how to get into it. And I'll be honest, man, if you want to hear a story, mine's literally Drake style. Started from the bottom, now we're here. How many people are big Drake fans on this? None? Zero?
I'll go over and go like five.
Five?
Maybe,
Okay,
maybe.
that's generous.
Most of my followers are my friends, so about 5 of them.
Five,
So.
okay, all right. So you could be like, all right, Steve, that was for you, like by specific name, yeah.
Awesome. This how's the Terrificon been treating you?
Phenomenal. This is great. And as far as, because this is one of the only conventions where that's a great family. They're just doing the cosplay together. The family that cosplays together stays together. The floor is carpeted, which makes a huge difference, especially when you're walking around.
Definitely.
You know, and back here, we got carpet back here. I'm not even wearing shoes because it's so comfortable. And I probably won't be the entire convention. So, great. It's a great con. Thank you, Terrificon.
Definitely. Mitch does a great job because he's a comic book guy. He wants comic books and comic book writers and artists to be the main focus. To have a con like this, bringing people like you guys, a bunch of other independent comics, it's been a great con.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. We are very, very happy. We've done very well. People are very interested to try out new things here. But, you know, luckily when you're Source Point Press, you got stuff that's worth trying out.
Definitely. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
You're
Really
welcome,
appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you.